of WSDX 970M, fresh from the Farm Radio program, brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. I am Abraham, Billy Abraham, Assistant Commissioner for the Department of Agriculture, asking you to call a friend and tell a friend. The Fresh from the Farm Radio program is on WSDX 970 AM. From the Farm Radio program. I want to say good morning to all the farmers. All the farmers in the territory, I want to say good morning to you. I want to say good morning to all the employees for the Department of Agriculture. Call a friend and tell a friend. The Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture is on WSTX. We're here each and every other Wednesday. We're here on today Wednesday, May 20 and 7. From the Farm Radio program. From the Farm Radio program each and every other Wednesday. Call a friend and tell a friend who will tell a friend. Tune into WSTX 970 AM. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture Fresh from the Farm Radio program is on the air right now. We're going to hear from the Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Lewis E. Peterson Jr. in the Commissioner's Corner. Then we're going to hear from Miss Behavior Max from the Farm Radio program. Yes, and then we have, once again with us, Mr. Donnell Walters. Yes, for the cooperative agriculture pest survey. Yes.
Good morning.
You have a couple more seconds to call a friend and tell a friend to tune in. Then we're going to go straight into the Commissioner's Corner. Straight into the Commissioner's Corner with Dr. Dr. Lewis E. Peterson Jr. Good morning and welcome to the Fresh from the Farm radio program. This program is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. Yes, I am Abraham. I am Billy Abraham. I am the Assistant Commissioner for the Department of Agriculture. And we have here with us the Commissioner of Agriculture. Good morning, Commish. How are you doing?
Good morning, Assistant Commissioner Abraham. I am feeling well. I'm feeling fine and I'm feeling fresh.
Yeah, boy.
Sir.
Commish, according to you though, I feel fresh.
yes, very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Walters, morning to you as well.
Good morning.
Good to have you on board with us on the ship.
Thank you.
Good morning to the entire team from the Department of Agriculture. Morning to all of our farmers. Morning to everyone listening. Welcome again. Another episode. Bound to be informative episode of Fresh from the Farm Radio. So, Mr. Abraham,
yes, Commish.
You know there's a lot happening in the Department of Agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Lots happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to spend my time this morning focusing on two really important upcoming events that we want the public to know about and attend as well. We are speaking about two important conferences. You know, when you have one conference, there's impact, but we're talking about two important conferences going to be hosted on St. Croix in the USVI. One of them is called the Caribbean Food Crop Society Meeting or Conference. This is a group of scientists that meet regionally every single year since 1963-64. That's a long time to be together as a society. But it's been held together so long because it's been so effective and so useful and so meaningful. This is a group that convenes every year to share information on agriculture, specifically in the Caribbean region, research information, education information, extension information that's happening between southern, I would say sometimes Florida is here too. So anywhere between Florida and South America, all of those areas in between, they are represented at this conference. So it's really, really a powerful time to meet so many people and to gain so much input and information. You hear information about practices that are working well, disease and pest issues to be addressed. Anything and everything is a place and time to be. And by the way, we're speaking about the Albert A. Sheen campus of UVI, July 13th to the 17th. The week of July 13th to the 17th, right there at St. Croix. And then the second conference, by the way, the Caribbean Food Crop Society Conference will be held jointly, and I think for the first time, with another society. Its society is called the American Phytopathological Society. This is a society of scientists that look at disease issues among plants, some of which Mr. Donald Walters himself will probably discuss today. But we're talking disease issues. So this meeting as well will be taking place jointly. And so if you want to be knowledgeable, want to be informed about such topics, that will be shared as well. And then Mr. Abraham and Mr. Walters, if that wasn't enough and a mouthful already, we're also going to have the Virgin Islands Agricultural Caribbean Conference. This is a conference that focuses specifically on the local issues here in the territory. This is a conference that has come about thanks to the efforts of former Senator Javan James. He mandated this conference to take place every year in the territory, alternating between the districts. And of course, it is to look at local concerns. As the law states, we look at things like agritourism, we look at things like disease and pest issues, importation issues. And as the law states, we're going to be delivering on point. So this particular aspect of the joint conference will take place on the 15th and the 16th of July. The 15th and the 16th of July. The last day of the conference, the 17th, will be common to everybody because that's going to be the day of the field trips. We're going to visit farms around St. Croix, livestock farms and crop farms to see about the good and best practices used by our farmers. So that's what's coming up. July 13th to the 17th. We actually planned this deliberately the day after Mango Mele so that our guests who are visiting can come in on the day before and experience one of our own local festivities, Mango Mele and Tropical Food Festival. So once again, the 13th to the 17th, we'll be having the 58th annual meeting of the Caribbean Food Crop Society. And then we'll be having as well the local Virgin Islands Caribbean Agricultural Conference. The theme for this year's event is increasing food security in the Caribbean through innovative agriculture. For those who might be concerned or wanting to know what the local conference will be looking like, we'll be having about 7 sessions. One of course, will focus on outreach and technical support for farmers. A second one will be looking at data and the business of agriculture, looking at things like the census report that we just completed, looking at the prospects for agribusiness in the territory. We'll be also having a session on the collective work. We talk about cooperative work, where we will be featuring presentations on exactly what that means and the potential for farmers in the territory. We'll also be having a panel of farmers. We'll be speaking about funding opportunities, and then we're going to end on, before ending though, we'll also be talking about sustainable agriculture, where we'll be talking about topics including organic farming, and then the very final conference session will focus on nurturing the next generation in agriculture. So for more information, anyone is interested, you can simply Google 2026 CFCS meeting. CFCS as in Caribbean Food Crop Society. If you Google 2026 CFCS meeting, you'll find more information about the conference, and we intend to continue sharing more every time we meet on this particular radio program. So, Mr. Abraham, that's what's on my mind for today. That's what I wanted to share, and I hope we have piqued some interest out there and persons who may want to attend these conferences. Of course, there's a registration fee because it will cost us to have the conference. I'm happy to say that for the local farmer participation, the fee is down from the regular fee to $150. And that's to cover, like I said, the basic expenses of putting on the conference. So we'll continue to share more, but I wanted to share at least this much for today. Mr. Abraham.
Yes, Commissioner. So let us just recap through the importance of this conference. We want to make sure that we get the information out there. And of course, Commissioner, we're talking about two separate conferences joining as one on the date of July 13th to 17th will be the joint conference of the Caribbean Food Crop Society Conference 1,
Yes.
and
Yes.
2, the VI Agricultural Caribbean Conference 2.
That's
Okay?
correct.
Which, so this will be taking place July 13th through July 17th, 2026. And for more information, simply Google 2026 CFCS meeting for more information.
That is correct, Mr. Abraham.
Mm.
Okay. So again, we hope that persons or they're listening will be piqued and be interested in coming out. We want to make sure that the information that's shared benefits us here in the territory. There are going to be so many scientists here, so much information here, that it doesn't make sense for scientists to come and leave, and the impact is not here with us in the territory. So please plan for July 30th to the 17th to be at these conferences, and we will continue to share more information.
There you have it. You've just heard the voice of the Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Lewis E. Peterson, Jr. Commissioner, I want to say give thanks to you as usual.
Thank you as well, Mr. Abraham, and Mr. Walters, and Ms. Richards will call in a few minutes.
That is correct.
Thank you.
If you're just tuning in to this radio station, you're listening to the Fresh from the Farm radio program, and this program is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, and there we had the Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Lewis E. Peterson, Jr., speaking, of course, about the joint conference. That is the Caribbean Food Crop Society Conference and the Virgin Islands Agriculture Caribbean Conference, which will be held on the week of July 13th through the 17th, and it's the 58th annual meeting for the Caribbean Food Crop Society. And as the Commissioner pointed out, there is a lot of experts coming in to the territory, scientists and all that. So definitely, you want to mark that date on your calendar, which is July 13th through the 17th. We're talking about the joint conference, the Caribbean Food Crop Society Conference and the Virgin Islands Agriculture Caribbean Conference. So, At this time, it's actually the moment that everybody have been waiting for. Yes, of course, it's the market report. The market report brought to you by no other than the one and only herself, Miss Misbehaving Maxine, who will be here with us on the line. I don't know what happened, but let's go. Good morning, Misbehaving Maxine.
Good morning,
Hey,
Assistant
there she go, there she go, there she go. Good morning, Misbehaving Maxine. What you got for us on today when the farmers market report is concerned? What's going on? What's going on?
We got everything going on. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Commissioner Peterson, and everyone over there on St. Thomas, and all my co-workers over here on St. Croix and St. John, of course. Always good stuff when it comes to the market report. We give thanks for the sun, we give thanks for the rain, and these farmers just love the balance that we have here in the Virgin Islands. So today's Wednesday, as you know, and you know where we're at on St. Croix. We're in Lorraine, next to Chicken Shack by Pueblo. The market is up and running. Those farmers and vendors are out there ready to serve you. And we have local produce as usual. Of course, it's always about what's growing here, what finding here, what we put the hard work into. So I'm going to tell you a few things that we have at the market. And then, of course, I'm going to give you some good news from the marketing department of agriculture. So, cucumbers, pumpkin, eggplant, lots and lots of mangoes. And some of them I can't even remember some of the names. Haitian kidney, Colombo kidney, Julie. Oh, mangoes galore, guys. Time to try something new. Some of these mangoes, some of us have never tried, like myself. And like I'm saying, Colombo kidney is awesome, guys. Try something new, try something different, taste something. So lots and lots of mangoes, tamarind, cassie. Cassie already sliced and ready to go. Some of us have never eaten a cassie. So if you have never eaten that, try it. It's already sliced in a bag ready to go, just ready to saute down and do your thing. Or you could put it in water and drink it as a cooling also. Many different ways. Cassie, banana, finger roll, green fig, green banana. We have it all. Plantain, big plantain. We have the big long ones too, the huge ones. Tomatoes, tomatoes, green, small, big, heirloom. You got it. We got tomatoes. Sweet potato, lettuce, bok choy, the chives, of course. We have the mommy apple, the mommy support, the sapodella. Yep, we got those. Pineapple. Yeah, they're here. We still got pineapple. Coconuts, if you're looking for coconut, dry coconut, water, you can get that also. Seasoning, peppers, and a few hot peppers. Star fruit, cocoa plum, cherries in season. They say we eat the fruits that are in season, guys. They're also for your value added products. We have pound seasoning, we have your pepper sauce, we get your sofrito. We have what you need to prepare that pot when it comes to our value added products. That kuchila I talk about, that's made out of green mango. It's a pepper. It's great. On your bush tea side, lemongrass, basil, bay leaf, mint. Don't forget your honey, your coconut oil, your cold and flu remedy. I talk about that a lot. Cold and flu remedy. It's always good to take a little tablespoon of that. And that's made from all the resources grown here in the Virgin Islands or produced here in the Virgin Islands. So those are some of our things that are locally grown and Banya food in our market this morning on Wednesday in Lorraine. And I want to tell you guys, I've been telling you about you farmers out there. It's time to get registered with the Department of Agriculture to support our seniors farmers market nutrition program and our WIC farmers market nutrition program. Our seniors program, we get our farmers in the territory, St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. Farmers, you're listening to the sound of my voice and listening to the Fresh from the Farm, register with the Department of Agriculture to grow some food so our low-income seniors can receive a produce bag worth $50 of fresh, locally grown food. So, to register, so you can grow that food. Also, farmers can register to receive our WIC coupons, where we also supply food to our WIC recipients to receive locally grown food. So if you're interested and you're a farmer out there and you grow food, please register on St. Thomas. That's Friday, this Friday, May the 29th, in the conference room at Cooperative Extension Service at the Orville Keene campus between 5:30 and 6:30. It's a registration, a little training process to get you registered. On St. John, Saturday, May the 30th, at the Sports Park and Rec Community Center from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then St. Croix on Tuesday, June the 2nd, at Rudolph Schulterbrand, also the Ag Fairgrounds, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. So we're making a call to all farmers out there. Get registered, get signed up, so we can supply our low-income seniors and our WIC recipients with fresh, locally grown produce here in our territory. So that's what I have for you guys today. Support our market, support our vendors each and every Wednesday in Lorraine Market, every Saturday on St. Croix at the Rudolph Schulterbrand grounds from 4:30 in the a.m. to 2 o'clock in the p.m. And on St. Thomas, every Saturday from 4 o'clock in the a.m. to 4 o'clock in the p.m. at Market Square on St. Thomas. And of course, if you're on the west side, Bordeaux Market is every second and every last Sunday of every month. So you know what that means. It's Market Sunday in Bordeaux. So support our local, support our vendors, eat local, eat fresh. Misbehaving Maxine signing out to meet again on Saturday.
Misbehaving. Want to say thank you so much, Misbehaving, for the work that you do. But we want to remind the listening audience of what you just said, which is that invitation for farmers/individuals who would like to grow a crop to sell to this program. It's a ready market. It's a ready market. Just simply get in contact. In fact, the number is Maxine, what did you say? 7780997?
I apologize, but yes, that's the number. If you're interested, you call the Department of Agriculture on St. Croix at 340, you know, we got to say the area code nowadays, 340-778-0997. And of course, if on St. Thomas, you call 340-774-5182. St. John, you can also call that number as well. You can get in contact with us, and we will surely be happy to get our farmers out there registered.
Now, just to ensure that we hear from you, we have an alternative number in the event that the phone system is down, in which it has been down sometimes, more frequently in some areas, more than other areas. So that number is 340-642-9027. 642-9027 is an alternative number to call the Department of Agriculture. Misbehaving Maxine, we want to thank you so much for providing us with a farmers market report.
You're welcome, Mr. Abraham. Everyone have a good day. And farmers, register. St. Croix on June the 2nd, 5:30 to 6:30. On St. Thomas this Friday, May the 29th. Cooperative Extension Service, Orville King Campus, 5:30 to 6:30. And on St. John, Saturday, May 30th, Sports Park and Rec Community Center, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Looking forward to see you farmers out there.
Thank you, Ms. Beaver. Thank you. There you have it. There you have it. You just heard from her, she herself. Misbehaving Maxine, providing us with our farmers market report, letting you know that the Lorraine Farmers Market is open on today, and the farmers/vendors will be there until about 2 o'clock in the PM on this afternoon. She also reminded the community of the Seniors Farmers Market Nutrition Program. As we're gearing up, now is a perfect opportunity to grow a short crop or some short crops, to which end the Department of Agriculture, through grant funding, will buy this produce from you, and this produce will be packed in bags for distribution to our low-income seniors in the territory, which totals to be near 1,000 each and every year. So again, if you're an interested farmer or vendor and you want to grow products for this program, it's already marketed. The market is set. The market is set. When you grow your crop, you know how much, what you're going to grow, where it's going to go, and that's an ideal business relationship right there. So at this time, if you're just tuning in to this radio program, you're tuned into the Fresh from the Farm radio program. And I'm happy that we have Mr. Donnell Walters, our state survey coordinator at the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. We have had you, we've had the honor of having you a few times with us here on the station. We had you on our other station, which is 103.5, each every Saturday, the Reef Broadcasting. And after that particular program last Saturday, we've had several calls, relating to our subject matter. So for the listening audience out there who may not be familiar with Mr. Donnell Walters, nor your position as a state survey coordinator, please, indulge us and tell us a little bit about yourself, your position, and what it is that you do, and let's start the conversation from there.
Okay, no problem. So again, good morning. My name is Mr. Donnell Walters. I'm the state survey coordinator for the Virgin Islands. So basically what I do is I survey the island for pests. So I survey islands for snails, for palm weevils, avocado weevils, and mango weevils as well. So basically I go around the community and set up traps to look for these certain pests. Because these pests we don't want to come on the island, because if they do come on the island, it will be a big deal. What I also do is help farmers and residents around the community who has pests in the yard. I go around, spray. I give them any 7 dust or any material I have that I help them. I also help the community. I help farmers. So if you have any pest problem, feel free to call me.
What's the best number to contact you?
The best number to contact me at 340-208-2187.
208-2187, 340 area code.
Correct.
So if we want to get in contact with Mr. Donnell Walters with regarding to pest control, the community may call 340
Yes.
208-2187.
Correct. And just ask for Mr. Walters.
Mr. Walters.
Yes.
Question. I want to thank you for providing us with the information, that you survey for pests, snails, and mango weevil and the like.
Yes.
And that this assistance, that you provide to farmers. The question is, this assistance that you provide to farmers, is it free? Is it free service?
Yes, it is. It's free of service, and a lot of people are surprised. When I tell them, when they ask me, do I owe you anything? I said, no, this is what I do. This is my job. So it is free. You know, my job here is to try to help anyone with pest problem on the island. You know, it's going to be hard to say eradicate, but as far as controlling, yes, I help with that, no cost.
So for those of us who may not necessarily be farmers, probably we are backyard farmers,
Mhm.
probably we just have interest in farming, or even for some those of us who are farmers and those of us who are indulged heavily in farming. Tell us, what are the most common pests
Yes.
that tend to be popping up?
Okay, so what I have seen recently that's very common are weevils and moths, but basically worms. People will say worms. You know, this plum have worms, or this fruit has worms, but actually it's a moth. You know. So recently I've got contact from farmers that's bringing me plums and mangoes and guavas and stuff, and they do have worms in it. But what I have noticed they are moths. You know. So if you do have any problem with worms in your fruit, contact me and we can figure out ways to help you with that. And I've also seen a lot of weevils, you know, mango weevils, and what I'm actually looking for is coconut weevil and avocado weevil. Those weevils have not been yet identified in the Virgin Islands. So if you see any symptoms and any weevils or anything on your palms or your avocado, please let me know.
I would have been inclined to think that weevils is weevils.
No.
No, I'm hearing mango weevils,
Yes.
avocado weevils.
Yes.
Is there a general definition for weevils, or each definition is attributed to the fruit that it is a host to?
Yes, it's the latter. So a weevil, it's a weevil, but different weevils or different species of weevils like different fruits. You know, so I have this species of weevils are just like avocado. Something about the avocado, this species of the weevils like. You know, and not all weevils look the same. Because no different species have different characteristics. So a weevil that might infect your palm looks different from a weevil that might infect your mango.
So in that the name is weevil, okay,
Mm.
regardless to the attributed host.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is there a general characteristic associated to weevils, which thereby is called weevils?
Yes. So basically, a weevil looks like like basically like a little beetle, right? And it has a long mouthpiece that's which help them suck, you know, the fruits. So they help them to burrow into the fruit and
Right.
eat. So it's a long, you know, they have long legs.
Right.
And basically, to me, their head shaped like a rhino, like a long,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So like an elephant, basically.
Okay. So basically, you could tell, well, yeah, that man is cousins. Then.
Yes, and the
Or
thing
that
is,
man is uncle, man.
yeah, they look alike. And the thing is, with the palm weevils, they could be 10 times bigger than a mango sea weevil.
So
Huge.
a palm weevil,
Mm.
let's say for example, I hear what you're saying with regards to each weevil like their own
Mhm.
different types of host. But have you ever seen where a palm weevil maybe jump over and start lick out a coconut or start lick out a plum?
No, personally, no. I've never witnessed that. You know, when I go to a mango, it's always this specific weevil in it.
Okay,
You know,
so
whenever I learn about palm weevils, it's just this specific palm.
so a lot of attention based upon our last conversation on the other program has been regarding the mango weevil.
Yes.
Tell us, let's explore that area since it has been an area that people have been calling about.
Yes.
So indulge us, tell us a little bit more
So,
about the mango weevil.
If you go on your mango tree,
Yes.
you know, and you notice a spot, you know, a
Yes.
little spot with a hole in it. Some spot may be bigger than some, you know. So you see a hole, and around the hole, it's becoming rotten. It's brown. It's yellow, and you know it's unedible. So what I want you to do is go up. You look to see if you actually see a hole. If you see a hole in that fruit, it's a possibility it might be a weevil in that fruit. You know, if you open it, you see inside of the fruit, it's rotten, you know, because that's what they do. So how the fruits get rotten is not from the weevil itself. It's the weevil burrows in the fruit, and whatever bacteria, you know, goes into the fruit and it causes it to rotten. But the weevils love that, you know, so it's like a host for them, it's a home for them, you know. So if you see that on your tree, just be aware that it might be a weevil. If you see that more than one, if you see that 10 of the fruits more, a lot more, then it might possibly be a problem. And another thing too, the fruits might drop prematurely. So you might see a lot of fruits on the ground that it's not ripe. So that's what weevils cause. They cause premature ripening.
So let's see, I saw all the symptoms that you described. Okay. What do I do?
So what can you do is the first thing you do is you take up all the dropping mangoes that's on the ground because they're weevil in it and the weevils travel. So when the weevils go inside this fruit and it's already eaten up the embryo and the seed and it's already done with the fruit, it's gonna go out to the fruit and look for another fruit. So the first thing you to do is collect all the mangoes on the ground, and please do not just throw it in a bush somewhere because it's gonna go find another mango tree. So the best thing to do is incinerate. You know, so you probably go to the fire station, you get a permit, you know, you get a controlled fire pit in your farm or your home or whatever, and you burn it. The next thing you should do is cut back the tree, but you do not want to cut the tree when it's fruiting. Wait till it's after fruiting out. The mangoes drop, everything drop, you collect all the mangoes, you burn it, you know, whatever you do with it. Then you could prune the tree back a little bit. You know, just prune it back to your liking. You don't have to cut it to a complete stump, but prune it back. And when you do prune it back, then I would say just give it a little every week, just give it a spray. You know, some essential oil, neem oil, you know, and soap and spray. So you know, so any essential oil, soap, and water.
So I hear you say that I come out my house one day, I see the symptom, okay, immediately pick up all the mangoes, okay. All you recommend pruning the tree, taking off all the leaves of the tree, get a permit, you know, and burn.
Yes. But before you identify and think, okay, this might be it, call me.
So that's where I'm getting to. So I was going to ask you some. My question was, you know, can we also call?
Of course, that's the first thing you do,
Mr.
Yes, call because I have to identify it first, and I also work with Dr. Jeeves in UBI, who helps me identify these pests because I'm not an entomologist, but I work with an entomologist, which is Dr. Jeeves.
340-208-2187 is the number to call. Dornell Walters, our state survey coordinator. We went on point because I was building up just to simply ask you, is your number a contact?
Yes.
I mean, a contact to call.
Yes.
When I say just to make sure.
Yes.
So tell us about the avocado weevil.
Avocado weevil, it isn't an island. It's not an island. So this is something I survey for. So palm weevil and avocado weevil has never been identified on island. So my job is to look for it so we don't.
So help us to feel secure in your statement that it's not on the island by helping us to understand what are the measures taken to make this determination that you can confidently say it's not here.
It's not here. Okay. So it's never been identified, you know, and
when you say it has never been identified, what do you mean?
It never been identified. Basically, no one has never brought this to our attention or Dr. G's attention. You know, so and as far as I work with Puerto Rico, so the grant I work on is Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico has a list called a pest priority list. This is a list of hundreds and maybe thousands of pests. You know, so this, under the USDA. So the USDA know the map of which pest is where and which is not where, you know, because this is what USDA do. So within this list, it was noted that these two pests are not yet have been identified in the Virgin Islands. You know, so that's what this is one. So during my training, I've learned that, you know, the palm weevils and avocado weevils have not yet been identified. So my job is to, if they're identified, to eradicate, but we don't want them on the island.
So tell us about that process, what that process might look like. Let's say one day, lo and behold, someone brings to you, first of all, before I even ask that question, what do we look for? I mean, let's say the whole, I mean, I would want to say somebody bring you an avocado that looks like some kind of way, but then flash in my mind when I don't even know what to look for.
It's basically,
So what should we expect to look for eh, to make for us to make that determination? Yo, let's call Mr.
Yes,
Donald
yes.
Water.
basically the same symptoms I've just explained about the mangoes. When you look for a hole and around the hole have a rotting area, if you see that on your and your avocados and you see it more times, if you see that like this mango have one, this mango have this one mango have one. I mean avocado have one. Then you call me, let me know. I will dissect the avocado, look into it, and see if it's really a weevil inside of it. So basically, you just look for that spot, that hole, and around the spot, it's brown and rotten, or if all your avocados just dropping prematurely. Just call me, let me know. I'll identify. I'll work with Dr. G. We'll find out what it is, and then we can talk about the process after that.
340-208-2187. 340-208-2187 will put you in contact with the state survey coordinator. It kind of sounds like the Ghostbusters,
Yes.
like call us,
Yes, tell us.
Tell us. You also point out the moth.
Mhm.
Does the moth come in varieties like the weevil, or is there just a
yes.
general moth?
No, man, there's thousands and hundreds of different species of moths. So you have moths that like different fruits as well. So I am currently looking for moths that infect Solanacea. So Solanacea is basically any okras, tomatoes, and stuff like that. Plants like that, okras, tomatoes, peppers.
So what you're saying, you've seen this moth
Mm-hmm.
and the peppers and the like that you're describing right now.
Mm-hmm.
These are the crops that you found
Yes.
this moth on.
Certain types of moth, yes. And there are other certain types of moth that has not yet been identified on the island that I'm surveying for as well. But there are some moths that I found on some farms, that affects okras and stuff like that.
Tell us about the general characteristics of a moth.
A moth?
Yes, what's common amongst all moths?
Well, the moths, basically the wing pattern. All moth species have different wing patterns. So and different sizes. So you might have a moth bigger than one. The leaf structure different. The antenna structure different. So it's just the species of the moth. To identify the characteristics of it, you gotta know the species of the moth.
Where are the common areas on island where you find the moths that takes the vegetables as a whole? So what part of the island?
The part most, I don't know why, but on the Frederiksted part of the island, I've seen more pests than the east side of the island. I guess I have to do some research into why. Maybe it's the environment, and the thing too, west or more you go east is more dry. The more you go west is more
Moist.
wet and moist, and that's what pests like. Like moisture, So
Now, I understand the destructive nature
mhm,
of both the moth
mhm.
and the weevil, right? Are there any good qualities, if any?
Yeah, depending on the species, you have good species of moth. You have good
Such
yeah,
as?
I can't remember the name right now, but I know there's some moths that come out at night. There are night moths that comes out and like pollinate. They help pollinate different flowers and that come out at night. So moths can be good night pollinators. So it's beneficial for some plants, but there are some type of moths that they don't want to benefit nothing. They just want to destroy.
Being
You just want being destroyed. So you just have to know which species is which. And that's where I come in. I can come and identify like, okay, this is a good moth. This this is a common mark, you know. Or if you find this mark, oh, this is a problem. Let's deal with this mark, you know. So it's not one general mark. There's a whole bunch of different species that mark that do different things.
What kind of pests other than moth and weevils you've been coming across?
Okay, there's a little small little tiny bug. It's called they call it tomato leaf hopper, but the scientific name is Amrasca bigeluta. But it's and I have seen this again on the west side on the island on farms.
How did you come across this? I mean, of course, I mean, let me not have something. Did you discover this pest?
Well, I wouldn't say discover it, but it was a pest that Puerto Rico said, hey, look out for it. Well, you can say yes, but Puerto Rico said, hey, look out for this pest.
And then I did came across it.
Yes, I did came across it. I took samples of it, sent samples to Puerto Rico, and we did all of that. You know?
Okay, so how did you acquire it?
Acquire the pest?
The pest.
Yes, I went on the farm. So what
you were called there?
I was called
there. Oh, you were doing a random survey.
I was doing a random survey. So what I do, I call different farmers. So I actually reach out to farmers as well. So I look on a computer or whatever to find out where these different farmers. I call these different farmers, like GLG, the one next to him, T3. I call them, you know. So when I call them, I explain to them who I am. They say, okay, come, you're free to do what you gotta do. So that's when I went on the farm over there and I found the Amrasca bigeluta. And when I found out that it started one place and it spread.
Tell us about the damage that this.
Okay, the damage is very, very, very bad. So they infect your okras, your tomatoes, your peppers. So they basically suck basically the life of the leaf. And,
but you call it a tomato leaf hopper though?
Yeah, but they like tomatoes more than anything. But they also can also go on your okras as well, and your peppers as well. But they're more common on tomatoes. If you have a tomato, an okra, and a pepper, you're more likely to choose the tomato.
You know what the damage would look like?
So the damage, so they will suck like the life basically of your plant. So the fruits will not develop, the leaves will not develop, the plant will just look like a struggle. You ever see a struggling plant, full of pests? So it basically covers the whole plant.
It covers bottom and top because most pests like to hide it to the bottom.
To the bottom, yes. Plant. But this plant is he here, and this called a leaf hopper because it hops and it's fast. So even if you see one and you try to touch it, it moves fast.
What color is it?
Green. It's a small little green, tiny.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Yeah, and it just whenever you go in the bush or you go and you rub up on it, it just starts to just jump. They jump all over, jump. A small little thing. Amrasca bigeluta.
Yes. So there's no benefits to him.
No benefits. All he wants to do is just destroy.
So once you see him, call you.
The only benefit he'll be is to probably like a ladybug who likes to eat,
So remedy.
So the remedy with that, so I've helped with that on these different farms as well. So you basically spray, because they don't like the smell of essential oil, of any peppermint or they don't like that. So you spray essential oil, water, and soap. You do it as based on your infection rate. If you have a lot of pests, you want to spray more than usual.
So the tomatoes, the peppers, and okras that they love so much, but most of all they love tomatoes, whichever one.
Yes.
But is there any other? I mean, what if there's no tomatoes? Because tomatoes are basically seasonal. Okay.
Yes. So
what if there's no tomatoes, there's no peppers, there's no okras? In which these foods come around the same time best.
Yeah.
I mean, they can grow all year round, but is there a time of the year that they're more the infestation?
Yes. And that's between September. That's between like August to September or October. Within that range, that's where they really amp up because that's the season for okras and
So if you have a crops coming around that time frame,
Look
you may be at great risk.
Yes.
That perhaps it's best to plan around.
around.
But let's talk about okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So we understand that um, there's a point in time that there's just a heavy infestation of it, right?
Mhm.
Is it around all year round though?
It's yes, it could be around all year round because if they don't find something here, they're gonna look. Because one thing about them, they're very invasive and they migrate fast.
How they got here? I mean, are they native? Or is it,
No.
how would you assume? Maybe if there's an assumption.
Probably come on a boat somewhere, somebody bringing in, some produce somewhere off a boat. They could probably be hiding. One could probably hide somewhere that you don't even know. When the boat stops, it just jump off, lays eggs somewhere, and by having one, you have now hundreds. And they reproduce very, very, very quickly. So it was never always here. It only recently came here, let's say, 2 to 3 years ago. It was never always here.
Any other pests that you could think of that we should be on guard for?
Snails. If you see any, I'm looking for snails and slugs as well.
Tell us what the snails and slugs. What damage can they
So-
possibly cause?
So they can cause agricultural damage and damage to humans as well. So that's why snails, if you do find some snails, please call me, let me know, because these snails can be, this type of snails I'm talking about is giant African snails.
Giant
African
African snails.
Yes.
So tell us about the agricultural damage now.
So the agricultural damage, they're disease vector. So there might be a bunch of different ways they can infect your plants. They can infect it by eating it. They could go on and eat the leaves and whatever. That's
Okay.
one. The next way they are vectors for bacteria. So even if they come, they go on your plant. Now your plant has this certain bacteria. Now your plant have a bacterial
Is
infection.
that as a result of that slime that may
Yes,
be dragged
exactly.
out of
Yes,
Okay.
and another way too is it's said to, if you see a giant African snail or any slug of that matter, do not touch it. Try not to touch it because it's a vector for bacteria, and in that slime,
Yeah.
that's where the bacteria live.
So-
in that slime.
So this now takes us to the human side. What's the damage?
The damage is the bacteria they carry. So they carry
So-
harmful bacteria.
Yes, we understand it carries the harmful bacteria, but what does the harmful bacteria? What damage does the harmful bacteria cause?
To humans,
Yes,
you get sick. You get sick and
like in terms of a cold, or your hand get paralyzed, you could get nauseated. What may be the kind of common symptoms that is associated?
probably basically probably basically you might feel a sting, you might feel a burn for sure.
Okay,
The bacteria might settle inside your bloodstream.
Okay,
You
so
might
you
get
feel
sick.
something.
You feel something. You might get sick. You might get a fever. At first you might think, oh man, I'm getting sick, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So now when you go to the doctor, when they do your test and they see, oh, you have this certain type of bacteria. Where does bacteria come from? You see bacteria ain't common with it,
Right.
And
Right.
then that's where they're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions. Who you been in contact with?
Right.
Oh, I just
Right.
been playing with a snail the other day,
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
it's a whole range of symptoms that these bacteria could do.
So
No.
don't
Don't
touch
no.
a black African
African.
snail.
How, Mr. Walter?
Where did they come from?
Next thing too, they're not yet identified here on island. So if you do see them, please call me.
Call you at
340-208-2187.
the black African snail. So it's better to have mango weevil than to have black
Yes.
African snails. What you say?
Yes, for sure. Because with the African weevils, there's no human harm. There's no harm to humans. I know you don't want to do it, but you could eat a larvae or you can eat a weevil and nothing will wrong with you. But you don't want to get in contact with a giant African snail and just, because it can make you sick.
So the most common weevil you pointed out on this program on today is the mango weevil. That's the bad boy in the community, and it is identified
Yes.
by that black spot
Yes, sir.
that appears on the bottom of the mango. Can it also appear on the top?
It could actually appear anywhere.
Anywhere on the
Anywhere on
mango.
the mango, because
Okay.
wherever they infect the mango and around it will be rotten.
and that rotten leads towards the seed, right? Where it lives in the seed.
Correct.
It has all the food,
All the
that
embryo,
it needs.
shelter, everything it needs.
So when it's mature, it jumps to another food. His own family. His own family. His own thing.
Yes.
His family will live with that food, right? And then expand. And then for treatment, you pointed out that we gather other mangoes, you know, and then implement it license. That's really that's very you have that. So very happy. Here we have it. 1 of 10, 8. Survey coordinator. We can get into the survey coordinator, and that's what it's saying. And then we met this morning that you 100% really true. And I'm very, very proud of you that we have a young man like you with us as the Department of Agriculture as our state coordinator, service coordinator. Also want to thank our Commissioner of Agriculture who is always because of everything that you do, Dr. Lewis Jr. And let's behave. We want to thank her as well for providing us with our product support and get us in touch. So we'll do extra for a second. I am Abraham, with the home of the Commissioner of Agriculture. I will see you next Wednesday for the following Wednesday.